Manchester United 1, Wrexham 3, and the Manchester United youngsters experienced defeat. The first defeat as part of this pre-season for Manchester United, and it was a bit of a strange one. I think people maybe had misconstrued what this game was going to be. I think coming out of the excitement of the victory over Arsenal at the weekend, they maybe expected more of the same, and it wasn't that, and it was never going to be that again when you look at the players that were on show. And I think it's a bit of an eye-opener for several people. I think it's a bit of an eye-opener sometimes for us fans, that sometimes we can be very quick to say, play the kids, put the youngsters in, and sometimes you have to remember the difference between academy or under-23s, under-21 football versus men's football versus senior football, even at a League 2 level, which of course is where Wrexham is at right now. Now, granted, some of these players have been out on loan recently to championship clubs with the likes of Hannibal and Alvaro Fernandez, but still, some of them have never really played senior football, and I think that particularly showed today. Now, I think it's important to preface this by saying I think the referee involved here had an absolute stinker. I really do. And I don't want it to make it entirely about the referee, and I don't want to be that person that goes, the referee screwed us and all that kind of stuff. But what you did have is a really intriguing game. You had a game where Manchester United started really well, actually. I thought first 10 minutes looked bright, looked lively, was nipping the ball around quite well. It was actually looking like Wrexham was struggling with the occasion of maybe playing United and the pressure and all of the eyeballs on them and of the amount of people inside the stadium, whatever. And then after that, Wrexham did, I think, the smart thing, which is make the game physical, because that's what you've got over these players. The advantage that United had against Wrexham was that from a technical point of view, they were better football players than the majority of those Wrexham players. They had better technical ability, they were good at keeping the ball, and they were stronger in possession. Where they would suffer is, again, when it comes to kids playing against men, which is the physical side of things. Long balls, long throws, corners, set pieces. And Wrexham were really smart with that. They had a couple of long balls. Unfortunately, the Wrexham player, the striker, had to be taken off because he got injured after a very simple long ball over the top. Johnny Evans couldn't deal with it. And the keeper came out, Bishop, went right into the player and had to be taken off. And it felt like that maybe was a bit of a catalyst for Wrexham and woke them up a bit. And then after that, they scored 2 goals, which again, one of them was from a throw-in, the other is from a cross into the box. And defensively, I think United would be really disappointed with that, because it was very, very basic stuff. I mean, we're talking flick-ons and taps into the net. Of course, it wasn't Erik Ten Hag managing the side. Ten Hag was there on the bench, but it was really an under-23s match. So they had the under-23 staff there. Darren Fletcher, the manager. Tom Huddleston was also there too. So Darren Fletcher, of course, the technical director. And so Ten Hag was kind of watching on from that point of view. But then as the half went on, United started to steady themselves a bit. And I thought, oh my goodness me, they're going to completely fall apart here. They're not going to manage the occasion either. But Gerardo gets a goal after a great cross into the box by Alvaro Fernandez. And then I thought, okay, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the technical staff will be chatting to him at half-time. I'm sure Ten Hag might throw a couple of bits of wisdom into there, maybe some tips, some advice, which I would think would probably be, look, again, don't let the game get physical. Make sure the ball stays on the floor. Use your technical ability. Retain possession. Don't force things, etc. And then early on in the second half, Gore gets sent off. Gets a straight red card that, at the time, my initial reaction was, oh, wow, I think that looked bad. It was a bit high up, and it looked like his foot was up. So at the time, I thought, oh, it might be a red. And when he gave it, I wasn't surprised. Having watched it back, and given the referee is much closer to that, and it is a friendly, I think it's a shocking decision. And that led to a really poor half from the referee. He suddenly, over a 5-minute period, got really card happy, giving people like Alvaro Fernandez a booking for real no reason, kicking the ball away or getting involved with a Wrexham player. And they just started to kind of rough up the United players a little bit. And I don't really care too much about the physicality, but I feel like the ref lost control of a pre-season friendly involving a group of academy players and a League 2 side, which again, to me is baffling. And then you had someone like Hannibal who got fouled all over the place, and eventually a Wrexham player got booked, but even the referee counted them out, said there's like 4 or 5 fouls, I'm going to book him. So I feel like that's really unfortunate, because I don't think maybe the players got out of the game what they potentially could have, which would have been a much better experience. After that, Wrexham get another goal because they were going to dominate the second half, and especially at 10 men. And I thought United did well to try and create things. The keeper really didn't have any save to make in the second half. They didn't create many chances. Again, it was always going to be difficult when you're down to 10 men. So either way, look, a loss it still isn't. It still was a good experience. How that happened and the occasion and the spotlight, playing in a different country, playing in a large stadium will be a good experience for some of those United players. But I do think it's an eye opener for some of the players that look, they're just not going to make it. Unfortunately, that's not being disrespectful or ruthless or anything like that. That is just the cold hard facts of youth football. A lot of people don't make it. In terms of standout players, I thought Hannibal looked a cut above the rest, honestly. He looked like a player that has played a lot of senior football or more senior football than a lot of those players, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with his future. Moving forward, of course, he was at Birmingham last year on loan. There's been rumours about possibly him leaving permanently, Borussia Dortmund being interested, or possibly another loan. So we'll wait and see what happens with him. There was also rumours, I think, of Leicester and Luton being interested, and I think he is at the stage at this point where he should be playing first-team football. Not for United, I don't think he's ready at that point, but he looked a cut above the rest. He looked like he was trying to make things happen. I thought Alvaro Fernandez did well too. Obviously got an assist for the goal, and again, another player that it's clear that, you know, he's played senior football for a year. He played a lot of games for Preston last year, in addition to that one Young Player of the Year. So those people that have that experience, you could tell, were much better prepared for facing off against, again, another senior team in Wrexham. So it's unfortunate. I think the referee kind of ruined the game a bit, and we didn't really get to see how United, those youngsters, really could progress in the second half, and the game kind of fizzled out because of it, which is unfortunate from a pre-season friendly. Of course, the people on, it's not even Twitter anymore, X, will be trolling us. You lost to a League Two side, ignoring the fact that it's our academy players and we were down to 10 men. But you know, it is one of those. The more important game, the game that I think that more people are going to be talking about, is obviously the game against Real Madrid that's coming in Houston tomorrow, so that'll be the one that people are really paying most attention to. But again, it's unfortunate, because I do think it would have been a much better experience and a much better test for those academy players had the ref not become so much of a job's worth in the second half. But realistically, I think you would say Wrexham probably deserved to win the game as well. They were much more streetwise, but again, you can just see the difference in terms of physicality, and that's what it really is. Whenever you watch youth football or academy football, it's really physicality. That's the difference, and that's why players go out on loan. They need to get that experience. They need to toughen up. So despite the result, I think it will be a good experience for some of the players, and also again an eye opener for people like Erik ten Hag, where he says, well, okay, maybe some of these players aren't really part of my options. And frankly, if they were part of his considerations, they'd be playing with the first team. Look at someone like Kobbie Mainoo. There's a reason that Kobbie Mainoo is not involved in this game this evening, because no disrespect to some of those players, but he's far too good, I think, to be involved with those players this evening, and he's much at a higher level already. It's very clear to see. So there you go, guys. As I mentioned, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below, and on to the next one, on to Real Madrid. I'm out of here. Peace.